To go into Machine Analyzer, at the top we're going to select the Analyze menu and then scroll down to Machine Analyzer. So the first thing you're going to want to take a look at is your time period. So generally you're going to look at probably a whole year's view or maybe a spring or a fall. So make sure you have the time period set for the data that you're trying to look at. So we're just going to look at basically our whole year view at this point. And then there's different categories of reports that you can look at. So one of them that works pretty well, if we kind of look at our standard views, we can go under hours and utilization and do the fleet utilization. So what that's going to do is it's going to give me the current engine hours that is on each machine. It's going to give me the period hours, so that's how many hours I would have put on this year, and then gives me kind of a breakdown on the percentage of working time, transport time, and idle time on each one of those machines. So the combine and the sprayer, those are pretty straightforward. We only got one combine, we only got one sprayer, so all the averages are essentially just that machine. Where if we go down and look at the tractor, we have 3 different tractors there. So they obviously all got different amounts of usage and whatnot. So we can see the differences on total engine hours and then the amount of hours that was put on the machine this current year. So on average between the 3 tractors, we averaged 284 hours between the 3, but we can see that varied from 196 hours up to 415 hours on the 8345R. So like I said, just a really nice thing. We can go in there, we can check engine hours, we can see how many hours we put on the machine this year, and then if we wanted to see, how does that compare to last year, I could simply just go here and click last year on my data set and see where we were at. So in general, across the board, did a little bit better. Down hours on the combine, down hours on a couple of the tractors. One of the tractors had a few more hours. So it's up to you to what to do with that data, but it lets you kind of dive in and see where things were at. Another one that might be helpful, especially if you're trying to potentially evaluate maybe some of your operators and how much they're utilizing things, there's a technology utilization option. So if we wanted to look at guidance technology usage, we could go in here and look at all these machines and see how much we're using AutoTrack. Are we using AutoPath on these machines? AutoTrack turn automation is something more and more people are getting into. Active implement guidance, so if we're running AutoPath, for example, that would kind of fall into that category when we're recording that with the implement guidance on the planner. Row Sense, AutoTrack Vision, Machine Sync just kind of lets us go through there and study. Maybe we have that technology on the machine, but are my operators actually using it and how much are they using it?